a Ferrari, but she's certainly not a junker, right? You are with her because she's smart and sexy, or sporty and economical, or elegant and refined, whatever it is, like your car. Needless to say, upkeep is essential. And there are a lot of similarities between the two. If she's driving you crazy not getting oil changes, imagine how you make her feel not keeping up with her maintenance schedule. Now, I work for Planned Parenthood, so when I talk about cars, what I'm really talking about is health care. And yes, it's a little bit more involved for women. How much more involved? Well, say you wanted to buy a new car, and you've traded in your old car, so you've got some money. We're talking about out-of-pocket expenses. If you're really talking about buying a car, it's about $25,000 in 2008. And interestingly, out-of-pocket expenses for healthcare were about 12 grand last year, and the premiums were about 13 grand. So $25,000 is a pretty good round number. But just like women who sometimes go to auto shops get charged more money for no reason, women pay a lot more for out-of-pocket expenses, about 68% more a year, which translates to that new car that would cost you $25,000, costing her about $42,000 for the exact same car. And remember, this is a metaphor, so we're talking 68% more cost out of pocket every year for women, which is somewhat problematic. Now, you're not going to buy that car just to park it in the garage. You're going to take it out and drive it, which means you got to buy, hell yeah, drive it like you stole it. So that means you have to insure it and buy gas. And that costs you about $8,000 a year. But you won't be surprised to hear that at least before healthcare reform, insurance costs women a lot more, about 50% more. Again, for the same woman, same car. So she's looking at about 12 grand a year to your 8,000 a year. So it costs a little bit more, but everything's covered, right? Chivalry's not dead. We're going to take care of the women in our lives. Sort of like the walls in this picture. Birth control pills are probably not covered. Prenatal care isn't covered. Pregnancy is not covered. So it's pretty expensive. You say, well, of course I'm going to spend a little bit more money on my wife. That just makes sense. But please tell me that the maintenance is the same. It's the same upkeep schedule, right? In summary, it costs a lot more to buy it. It costs a lot more to insure it. The out-of-pocket expenses are a lot higher. And the maintenance schedule isn't the same either, as you might imagine.
To rent you.
After all, we are talking about your wife or your girlfriend here. She is like a world-class thrill machine. She needs a little tender loving care, and you're not just going to change the oil 4 times a year. And when I say oil change, what I mean is regular visits to the doctor. And you're looking at 17 times a year in the equivalent for women's annual visits compared to men. Or that's every 3 weeks, if you want to do the math. So I know your wife is not a car, but I just wanted to give you some comparison of the 2 major loves in your life and sort of hopefully inspire you to lavish some care and attention upon her. And of course, I'm not the first person to make this comparison. You may have seen this on the internet. Although this was a guy blaming the management system that lets me like Toyota and say, maybe it's operator error. So what can you do? Here's my theme song. Talk dirty to your elected officials. They are still working on healthcare reform. Make sure that they fix the healthcare things that you need to take care of your family. Make sure she takes care of herself. It costs more, it takes more effort, but it's definitely so worth it. And when she does take care of herself, make sure you tell her how much you appreciate that. Show her that you really care about her. And let's face it, guys, you have a role to play here, which is why I passed out the packages of lube. Lubrication is important in both areas of your life. So let's make sure we take care of that. And that's all I have. The woman in your life, if with proper care and maintenance, she will always be your world-class thrill machine.
Thank you.